Alright, oh my god. Well, that's one done. Some progress. About half an hour left, which may give us time for another one, but probably not. Go ahead and take our spoils. And after that, I will go ahead and restart. Which will take a minute, but no. Try to keep talking or something. See, we got a legendary sword. I don't think I can afford any of these still, to be honest. Oh, no, this one I can afford. Bait Breaker of Cleaving. You've made a huge mistake. Melee attacks create lightning projectiles that restore ward equal to 100% of the damage dealt. Ooh, okay. Melee attacks deal 10% of all non-melee damage dealt by the Fate Maker for the last 10 seconds. Okay, great. Definitely does not seem like a bad weapon by any means. This right here, these vending machines. These vending machines also give us a good chance to get some new weapons that might help us fight some other bosses. I don't think they refresh though after a while, so considering we don't have a gun in this one today, we probably won't buy that sword. Oh, they do reset every 16 minutes. Okay. So I guess maybe if push comes to shove, we could just wait a while and see if it refreshes to something that would better serve us. I'm not going to do that right now, but maybe we can do that later. Can't afford that. A new spell. Time skip of the Reaper. I don't think we've seen this one yet. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping. 2 spell charges. Hold to cast repeatedly. There's like no description of what it does. I'm just going to go ahead and skip on that one as well, because that is a good like third of our money right there. Alright, so we have enough to donate all of these. And I was just talking about maybe getting a assault rifle, shotgun, maybe a sniper, or a rocket launcher for the bosses. Well, let's go ahead and get an assault rifle, because why not? Oh! Just a big old loot explosion. Okay. And we can do that more than once. Oh, okay. That's just a bunch of loot, basically. Probably guaranteed legendary at that point. Alright, what is this? Little K's Bread Slicer of the Haunted Castle. Man, that is a great name. Seems like it does a lot of damage. It's going to be a Stoker brand, so it's really fast firing. This seems impractical. Extra gun damage, consumes 3 ammo per shot. 2 underbarrel grenades that deal damage, and 150% critical chance. Oh, okay. Let's get rid of this, because I feel like we haven't really been using this all that often. We can keep that in our inventory for later if we need it. Let's go ahead and put this on. And we'll see what it does. Oh. Oh, this is like the, Man, this is like another gun in Borderlands 2. I can't remember the name of it, but it did something similar. It shot out, like, rows of, like, sharp projectiles or something like that. It wasn't exactly the same as this, but it was pretty similar. That's pretty awesome. Ooh, another shield. Okay. Higher capacity than ours. Same manufacturer. Oh, we've had this one. Reflecting bullets. Yeah, we've had this one. Yeah, I switched out for this one that I have on right now, I think, just for the variety. We'll just keep that on for now. Yeah, well, we can run this for sure. Apparently does poison damage as well, so that'll be nice. Wait, no it doesn't. Oh, it's non-elemental. I thought it was poison damage for some reason. Well, that'll work against shields then, because it won't incur a resistance or anything like that. So if we get like that elemental debuff, like that curse that the Dragon Lord gives us, we can use that for sure. I totally forgot about normal elemental weapons, to be honest with you. I love a good non-elemental, though. I prefer elemental. A full elemental build using one of each element. It's like ideal for me, but I do enjoy a non-elemental weapon for sure. All right, we still got a little bit of time to start the next one at least. So let me just restart the game really quickly, and we'll go ahead and do that. In all likelihood, if I don't run long during this episode to finish the Chaos Trial, I'll just cut it short so you don't see me actually finish the trial, and then I'll probably just finish it off screen or die trying. If I finish it, I'll let you know. I might just run long, but if the game is like really breaking still, then I'll just cut it a bit short. Actually, this does give me a good chance to show you a little bit of what I've been working on. Give me a minute. Game usually takes at least 5 minutes to boot up, so this should be fine. Like I said, I do have a few uh, singles out right now. So I won't show those off here because you can just listen to those. So let me see what I can show off. That's kind of presentable. Game is not loading. Going into Steam, into my library to make sure it launched, but even that's going kind of slow right now. I think Steam is... Maybe Steam that's broken. I don't know. Steam's also not responding. MuseScore is fine. I have MuseScore up right now. But Steam is... I don't know what's up with Steam right now. I feel like Steam is always broken. I know they do like regular updates, like every day basically. Or, like small patches and stuff like that. But I feel like Steam is always broken for some reason. Alright, well, while I figure that out, let me show you this. So this is one of the tracks on the album. It's called Horizons. You can barely see that up here. It's got a WIP because it's a work in progress. But here, this is MuseScore's interface. It's got all. I won't go through all these tools here, but if you read music, you'll recognize all this stuff. And then MuseScore itself, instead of it being like a like you record audio and listen back to it, you actually have to write all the music onto sheet music here. So that's what I've been doing. Oh, hello, team. I'll give that a second. But yeah, here is the mixer. You have all the tracks here. This track in particular is gonna have marimba, piano, string quartet, and then maybe guitar. I haven't written anything for the guitar or the drums yet, but I might use these later. So far, this track is definitely not done. Not even close to being done. Oh, hello. Oh, all right. Steam is not responding, I guess. Come back to that in a minute if it does respond. So yeah, this is called Horizons. It's in 7/8, as you can see. It's in G major. I think it's in some other mode, though. I don't know if I wrote it in G or in E minor, even. It's probably in some weird mode that I just made up. Yeah, I'll just play it. Oh my god. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of the piece. Again, nowhere near done. I still need to write all the parts for all the other instruments and develop these parts more. But that's kind of the idea. It's going to be a bit softer, a bit quieter, and a bit more. I don't know how to describe it. Like um, cyclical, I guess. Um, this idea right here, this moving idea, all it is this arpeggio. what is that? FBG, EBG, and then a rest. And that's repeating up here as well, just in a different octave and a different uh, point in the measure. So it repeats and, you know, kind of overlaps itself a lot. I would like to also find a nicer mallet sound, because this one I feel like has a lot of reverb on it, and I can't really do anything about it. There's not too many ways to take away reverb in this program, at least not that I know of. There's probably some EQ trick to do that. But typically, oh, typically if there's built-in effects on an instrument in this program, you can't really do anything about that. You can only add more effects, you can't really take them away. Unless it's something like this plugin here. Typically these will have their own parameters that you can change, which is nice. But some of the other sound fonts just don't give you options like this. Mallets, let's see, let's just start here and see what they give us. Oh my god. I think me streaming this at the same time is kind of breaking the sound font. CPU's kind of overloaded probably. Steam working yet? Nope. Not at all. Alright, well, I guess we're doing this for the rest of the stream then. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, this is kind of my process, because like I said, MuseScore by itself has kind of limiting options. By default, MuseScore is free, which is really nice. It used to only come with all these here, which sounds like a lot if you don't really work with, you know, notation software or digital audio workstations. It seems like a lot of options here. Oh my god, Steam. What? What do you want? Are you working now? What's the deal? Can I drag you to my other monitor at least? Thank you. Alright. Yeah. It seems like a lot. But if you've ever worked with DAWs or notation software, you realize it's not really that much. By default, you only get these categories, which is drum sets, percussion, sound effects like synths, some other synths here, some random world instruments, strings like cello, violins, violas, basses, electric bass, electric guitar, organ, piano, voices, brass, reeds, pipes. So, you know, you get the typical symphony instruments, you get limited guitars, you get this many guitars, you get this many basses, you get some drum kits, and that's it. You don't really get much in the way of like risers, falls, that many sound effects, other random effects that you might put into a song for effect. Stuff like that. You don't really get that with MuseScore. Um, Sorry, I'm just trying to manage Steam over here. Okay. Tina's should be running now. I guess it wasn't before, but now it is. So maybe that'll load up while I talk about this. So yeah, back in the day, MuseScore just had these, and that's it. It was kind of a pain to add more, and there wasn't that many sound font packs that were compatible with MuseScore, especially free ones. Typically, you had to pay for them. But there were a few that worked pretty well and that I was able to use for my first project. And then at some point they updated the sound fonts and the whole app in general. They pretty much just revamped it. They added all these, which is basically an expanded library on those categories. They have a better collection of guitars, dedicated harp, some better keys, and all this stuff. So that was nice. They're definitely a lot better than the originals. And they added a lot more support for other sound fonts. So now I have all of these as well, which are all different instruments or libraries. So I can use these as well. And there's a lot more support for other ones. So if I want to add more later down the line, I can do that. But again, typically they cost a good amount of money, so I don't really buy sound font packs like that. I mean, $80 could buy me like literally anything else. I don't really need digital instruments that I'm not going to use that much for $80. Oh, okay, it's loading up. You can at least start the trial before the next stream. But yeah, once I grab the instruments that I actually want, all of these here, typically what my process is like is that I'll actually have to go into that specific pack of instruments. In this case, it'll be for mallets, marimba, vibraphone, that kind of deal. And I'll have to scroll through each of the different sounds to find one that I like. And then once I find one that I like, I'll tweak that one with these sliders here and with other effects that I'll find online. I definitely have a lot more effects than I do instruments, because I like messing with the production of the instruments more than I do the instruments and sounds themselves. So I found all these online for free. These are all different manufacturers, and all their different plugins and all that. Yeah, let me see if I can find a cool marimba that I like. Oh, game crashed. Okay, well, never mind. And the whole thing about writing a song is that you want specific sounds, because the sounds kind of determine how the rest of the piece is interpreted, how it's listened to, how the other instruments interact with that one. You know what I mean? So this is a large part of it is scrubbing through different sounds and finding one that you like. Especially when you don't just have the instrument in your room and you can't just record it. For this, I wanted to find something that sounds somewhat realistic while also retaining a distinct synthetic quality, because I actually do like having instruments that are digital. Uh, I don't want them to sound as realistic as possible, because I know I can't really get that sound with only digital instruments. So I want to lean into that and get something that is distinctly digital, but also sounds somewhat realistic in the at the same time. Like, this sounds a little bit more realistic than the other ones. I could probably work with that one. Put some reverb on it, some delay or something. Something like this. Yeah, something like that. Like, I can tell it's obviously a digital instrument, especially with the effects on it and everything. Like, it sounds perfect. Like, it doesn't sound like a human is actually playing it. Perfect in the sense that its rhythm is perfect. There's no missed notes, anything like that. Like, you can tell it's a computer playing it rather than a human. But I can imagine, if I think about it hard enough, I can imagine this being played on a real piano or like a celeste or celeste. What is it called? That instrument, celesta, celesta. You know what I'm saying? Or marimba or a vibraphone or something like that. So I like that one for sure. All these other ones are, I mean, they're cool. They sound cool and all, but they just don't fit in all that well, I think. This one sounds okay. It looks like I can also change all of these. Uh, well, maybe not change them, but I can toggle whether or not they're on or off. That's cool. This one's cool too. I like this one. And then, of course, once I find something that I like generally, then I've got to start adding all the other instruments to make sure it sounds okay with the other instruments. So, you know, it's a whole process. So that's kind of the general process that I go through when I'm writing for the album. And then whenever I am just coming up with some idea, I'll just put it in a scrapbook, like how all of these are like random things just kind of laying around. Um, Sometimes I'll get an idea and I'll just put it down like like as if I were sketching it, and then I'll try to develop it a little bit. This is one of them. This is not going to be a release of any kind or anything like that. Just a fun idea I was messing around with one day. This motif right here, this group of five, it's really fast here, but I got it from a Perfume song. If you guys know the band Perfume, J-pop band, their song Polyrhythm has this motif repeated a lot in the chorus. Let me see if I can find a good spot which repeats it so I can show you. Like here. If I just repeat this solo, the violin. That motif is in the song. You can go and listen to the song and you'll hear it. And it's like that in the song too. It's not quite that fast, but in the song it's just a group of 5 notes that's repeated. And then, so yeah, I took that motif, I changed it up a little bit for the part. So now it goes down. It's got this, like, jumpy movement. There's a harmony. So yeah, I added some variation. And then some other instruments, which do some other movements on top of all of this. And it's meant to sound like chaotic, just like a lot of stuff happening at the same time. Yeah, there's that. That goes on for a while. Um, that was slow. At full speed, it sounds like this. Yeah. Again, this is not something I'm going to release. Um, it was just a fun thing that I thought of one day, and I was like, oh, what if I put a 7 string guitar with a bass, like as if it was prog rock or something, with strings and a drum kit. And I just did that. It was also kind of an exercise to try to write something that was actually possible for humans to play. The guitar part and the bass part are possible. I notated those. I like went through and detailed those out. The violin parts should be possible because it's not that much different than the guitar parts, and I know roughly how to play stuff like this on cello, so that should be fine. If it were on cello, I'd be able to figure it out pretty easily, but I'd have to use my best judgment for violins and violas. But it should be possible. If not, maybe like just tweak a few things here and there to change it up a bit, but should be possible. The drum parts are hard for me because I don't have a drum kit here. The most I can do is just air drum and maybe write out some rudiments, basic rudiments. I don't really know that many, but I do my best. And generally, I just try not to write more than 2 notes for each hand. Like here, we have a bell for the ride cymbal and a crash. So you would just, hit the bell and the crash at the same time, right? Easy enough. Then you got the feet, which are doing their own thing. I realize, independence is like a whole thing with drums. You got to write well so your limbs can actually play it. You know what I mean. Uh, but yeah, generally I just try to write no more than 2 notes per hand and 2 notes per foot, or like one note per foot. So it's like two in the. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, um, yeah. So yeah, I just took that perfume idea. I said I want to write something which uses prog rock kind of lines. Like I feel like I would hear something like this guitar line and the bass line in some prog, like Chon almost. I know they don't really like simple stuff like this. Like this is probably way too simple for Chon, but you get what I'm saying. Then you have the violins doing something similar because they're able to move that quickly, pretty easily. And then viola and cello are just supporting. And drums are kind of doing their own thing. Yeah. Yeah, I like to do stuff like this where it's just an idea that I expanded out for a while. Uh, One of my favorite things to do, honestly, is to just take the whole thing and transpose it to a new key. I originally wrote this in C, but you know, anytime I come to listen to this or add to it, I'll put it in like D major or E flat major. Because why not? Kind of refreshes my ear. Kind of acts as a palate cleanser almost. It does get pretty tiring, honestly, to just listen to these not great audio sound fonts. It's fun to work with them because you can kind of make them do a lot of different stuff. But listening to them for that long is pretty tiring, to be honest with you. Oops. Yeah, I like doing that. I think the logical extreme for something like this would be to start writing stuff that isn't possible for humans to play. Because obviously, what's the point of writing for digital instruments if you can just write for real people and have the people record it, you know? So I think logically, maybe next time I come up with some idea, I'll purposely make it impossible for humans to play to see what that sounds like. I don't know. I'm not an EDM artist, so I'm not really into that kind of production, but I like the idea. I admire people who get into breakcore and EDM and stuff like that, but I'm just not into it like that. So, or maybe someday I will be, but I'm just not right now. So that I'm gonna go ahead and end stream here. I'm over time, and I'm not even playing the game anymore. I don't really know what happened to the game. I guess it's just broken. My Steam overlay is not even working that well, so probably just have to restart my computer and restart Steam. Anyways, I'll go ahead and end here. Um, I guess I'll just play this as an outro, and then I'll end it. Thanks for watching. If you watched on YouTube, I'll see you tomorrow. If you watched on Twitch, I will see you on Thursday. If you're watching Tina streams, I'll see you next week. Yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.